I'm Frank Rabe, I'm a plastic and reconstructive surgeon. Today I would like to introduce you to Julia Rabe. Let me start by saying that in my work I work long hours. Sometimes if I do microsurgery procedures, it can be like anything between 4 or 5 hours and up to 10, 12 hours with almost uninterrupted surgery and concentration. We work in a bent position. You concentrate in a position that is sort of unnatural, and over the years my back muscles went into spasm. I had a lot of problems. Sometimes I had to stop the procedure, or when I took the break I could hardly get up and walk. I would say quite recently, beginning of this year, I started to having regular sessions with Julia. I start to go at least once a week if I can, and I can tell you my posture has improved. I don't have back pain anymore, or muscle spasms. Even my golf coach says my swing got much better, and he sent actually regards to you, Julia, and says, congratulations, what you've done. Yes, I will do that. I can tell you another little secret. Actually, Julia was one of my very first patients that I performed a microvascular free flap reconstruction for breast cancer. She had breast cancer a few years before that, and she had a mastectomy, and she was looking for the right procedure. I've just started with it's called a DIAC procedure, where you take just the skin and the fat, the subcutaneous fat tissue from the tummy without the muscles, and you transplant that in quite a long microvascular procedure into the chest wall. So you end up with surgery at the breast area, and you end up with surgery in your abdominal area and your core area. From my experience, when patients have that procedure, I book them off for at least 6 weeks, and it can take up to a year, the recovery, and it's a long recovery. The tummy area is a lot of discomfort. Can you imagine that Julia went through a massive procedure like that, taking away that tissue, like a 7-hour procedure with a weakening of the muscle for quite a while, and now she's actually much more mobile than I am. And nowadays I often recommend patients after the surgery, or even before the surgery, to go for treatments like this to improve their mobility, their posture, and even after the surgery to get a better and faster recovery.
I had breast cancer 20 years ago, and I waited at least, I think, 6 or 7 years to do my reconstruction, because I wanted only that kind of procedure. Thanks to Professor Greve, it really worked out amazing. And you must just know that I had 2 seizures before, and I had the appendix taken out. So I had a lot of scarring in that lower part area, which normally restricts you in movement. I wanted to get strong again, and in time, first with Pilates, and then I was introduced myself through a physio to gyrokinesis, and it helped my own health so much that I became a trainer myself. Yeah, and here I am in my own studio today, and Frank saw how I moved, and I think was convinced that I can maybe help the other ladies now too. I use the equipment more to go in details, or people who have got more problems to guide them more, and but I'd always try to get them into a class afterwards as well. So it's all up to you what you want to achieve. Of course, as I work as a physio as well, I have got people with frozen shoulders, with back problems, and therefore it's very, very beneficial being on the machine and getting the extra movement and the mobility. And gyrotonic and gyrokinesis is working in spiral movements. So we are so used to go linear, and that's what we teach again. And we teach that in the class as well. Also work a lot with sports people, especially, as Professor Greve said, with golfer and tennis players, because tennis players, they only use one side and not the other side, so the rotation is limited on one side. So it's good to work on the weak side as well.
Picture perfect under surface.
from the toe up to the head. It incorporates the whole spine, which is incredible. Even all the organs here, which we all sit like that, and nobody does move around in the lower part of the spine. And that also has a big effect on people's life when they learn how to sit and how to improve their posture. So you can play around. Sometimes we concentrate more on the hip movements. Overall, all the muscles should have been having a worked out at the end of the class, hopefully. Yes. It's also good for old people. My colleague has at the moment a gentleman who is 84 and he hardly could walk. And now he's walking much better and his posture is better. He even got married. So it shows you what it does to you. There's no age limit. Everybody can gain from it. Absolutely. So you can even come with 90. You know, I think movement, I always say, just move, go up the staircase. Movement is what we all need.
It almost sounds better than plastic surgery.
Well,
so the combination of the two is...
But you know, I mean, I was impressed. But you just showed me that that little video clip where you did your arch and curl before or I got it from Kes, where you... And I like that when you do that before you do and sit for 2 or 3 hours on your chair. It's little tools like that, if you remember them. That doesn't need to have a full hour every day, but little things like the sternum, pushing the sternum out, you know, little tools will help to improve everyday's bad habits.